Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to ChriswithaC. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much for joining me today, guys. Traxxas Sledge, tons of upgrades have actually started happening to it, and there was a few, as I mentioned in the last video, I didn't actually want to install the motor and the motor mount into the car, and there's good reason behind this. Massive shout out to Avery and the gang at M2C. They've actually sent over this forward facing motor mount kit. Now, really good, guys. Basically what they've created here is a adjustable motor mount system for the Sledge, and it's one of their best selling Sledge parts. When they contacted me about the if you remember in the techno video about this cover, Avery actually said to me, I'm going to send over the parts for the Sledge for you to have a look at. And in this video, what I'm going to do here, guys, is I'll actually attempt to show you how I fit it to the car. And fingers crossed we'll get a motor. Now, I'm not going with the stock motor. I really like the Surpass rocket motors. And for good reason. They've always proved to be really powerful and good. Well, basically, I haven't had one go down on me. And they got plenty of power in these. I am going up a can size as well, so I'm going from a 4278 to a 4282, and with that I'm also going up 20 to 2150 kV because we're going to be using some belted tires, and obviously with that, obviously you're going to have less ballooning. So I wanted a little bit more speed. I'm going to try and stick with this stock pinion for now. All right. That might change in a moment once I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a motor fan to the vehicle. But the main part, guys, I'm going to show you in a sec. All the parts are coming in this kit. And I think the part number is 1413. All right, it says M2C 1413 forward motor mount for S-Series truck Sledge. Right, guys. I think what I'll do now is change the camera angle. I'll show you the parts, and then we'll start fitting them to the vehicle. How's that sound? Awesome. I'll see you in a second. Right, guys, so these are the parts of M2C have kindly sent over. As you can see, they're split up into different sections, and for good reason. All right, what you actually got here is, now, just to explain, all right, as you can see, the motor mount is completely different to the Traxxas one. The Traxxas one has got this cage system. You use the plates underneath to hold it all in place. So what they've actually gone with is very much like your typical Arrma or Team Corrali, that sort of thing. So you've actually got the adjustable motor mount there, which will allow you to adjust your mesh correctly. But they also send over a block that attaches to the chassis, because you will need to make a hole in the chassis, all right? Because the stock system only runs 4 screws. But let me just grab the car for you a second. Oh, right, okay. As you can see, on the chassis here, okay, is you've got 4 holes. But you need to make another hole here, I believe it is, for this motor mount system to work. So they've thought on their feet. They've included the extra piece you need, and also you need to slightly countersink the chassis, just so your screws will go underneath and not have an issue. All right, but I'm going to guide you through it a little bit. I'll show you as I'm going along. Fingers crossed you'll enjoy it. So what we've got, yeah, by the looks on things, is you've got the template basically for the hole for your chassis. You've got a little support then for the motor mount underneath, so it doesn't bounce around on the chassis itself. You've got your top plate, your rear bell housing. You've got these little inserts then to obviously sit in top to hold your diff in place, and the motor mount itself. So I'm just going to start now. I'll put you back on the other camera, and we'll start fitting it to the vehicle. Right, okay, so I've taken all the parts out of the bag, guys. Now, what it actually says here, and fair shout to M2C, is use the stock mount screws, okay? So they've advised you to obviously keep hold of your stock screws. So obviously you're going to reuse those on the mount. The first thing we do need to do here, though, is obviously get this plate out. Now, as I mentioned, what's going to happen here, okay, is you need to fit this to your car, Alright, and then this end hole here, there, is where you're going to make your additional screw hole, guys. Once you've done that, alright, you're then going to need to countersink your chassis. So great that they've included that. What I'll do here now, 2 seconds, is get the car up here, and then fingers crossed, let's just take the chassis brace off. Fingers crossed, what we can actually do is do it together. So there's your motor mount there, guys. Okay, so obviously we're going to be going from this section here, like so. We're going to put our screws in. Alright, so we need to come from underneath. So let me just get the screws. And I'm just going to attach them underneath. So this will give you, hold on, so that needs to go that way. And it's quite self-explanatory. So once you've got them in place, alright, there's one there. And where's the other screw? Just need to place this underneath. Just trying to do it from underneath, guys. Right, okay, there you go. Okay, so this is going to hold it in, and then you're going to make the additional screw hole on this side here. So I'm going to pause it 2 seconds. I'm just going to get this all set up, and then we'll go from there. Right, okay, so you've got the motor plate. That's actually attached to the chassis now. I've tightened that up. Just get yourself cordless screwdriver, guys. Use the screw, obviously the drill bit that they provided. And you're just going to go down slowly through the chassis. Right, okay, now what we want to do is quickly loosen this off. So I'm just going to brush all this metal off here. Like so. Just loosen off the screws underneath. Let the plate drop off. Then, once you're using the countersink, guys, essentially what you want to do here is just enough for one of these screws that came with the motor mount, alright, to sit flush. So just take your time, like so. You got your additional screw hole there. Like so, and we're just going to slowly you're trying to match the screw holes that are already there. So get your screw, pop it in. If that don't work, there you go. So flip the car back over, and then obviously we're going to go with, first of all, it does come with screws as well for your mount, and obviously putting everything all in place. make sure you got some Loctite. I'm going to pause 2 seconds just to grab my Loctite and make sure everything is all sorted, and we'll go from there. Right, so it looks like it's my fault this, guys, alright? What you need to do, actually, in the package, I got confused by reading the instructions about the motor mount screws. It's my fault in the sense of, what I didn't do is read it properly. Now, there is, as you can see here, a 2mm screw. So the end screw on your motor mount is actually a 2mm. So that's actually gone in there now. That's nice and tight. And I could probably have got away with doing less of a countersink there, but as it stands, that's actually gone in there just fine. So just re-add the other screws now a second. As long as it's held in place, I'm absolutely cool with that anyway. So now we should have the motor mount actually fitted to the vehicle. And that's not going anywhere. So the one screw, yeah, that's held in place. Just tighten up this screw here. Tighten up this one here. And tighten up this one here. Oh, nice. Okay, so now flipping the car over, that mount should actually be in place, like so. There you go. So as you can see now, you've got your front and rear of your motor mount all in. So what I'm going to do now is actually put the spur gear back in. Okay, so there's my centre diff. Just give it a quick wipe down. Last time I ran it, it was very, very dirty, as I found out when I put my new chassis on. So, lift my drive shaft up here. That's going to go in like so. Lift this drive shaft up here, if I can get it to move. Which is actually, there you go, it's not stuck. And that should sit down. There you go, perfect. So that is actually sat in place now. As you can see, quite a drastic improvement over the old one. I'm going to add the top plate now, which should be pretty simple. Comes with 4 screws. And we no longer have to use the crappy composite motor mount. Now, I say crappy, mine never broke, but it is nicer. Oh, and the other thing to mention here, there are some inserts actually. So these inserts you need to put one in there. Is that going to go in there? Seems like it's going to go in there, yeah. Maybe it's the other way around. Yeah, it's the other way around. Like so. There's one. And there's the other. Okay. Then put your mount on top. Like so. Oh, other way around. And then we put our screws in. So your screws now. So anyway, are held in place. check again. That seems to fit better there, so this one must go there. Right, okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, again, Loctite for these screws, 2mm screws to go in there. One, two, three, four. So, if that is the case, you must have 2 screws to attach the top here, like so, and then you got your 4 on the outside. So, shorter screws in the center, into the plastic, so that's not going to actually hold it in there. So that becomes one piece, taking it on and off, look, as you can see. And then these 4 screws here, put a bit of Loctite on them, guys. There's one in there. Try not to put too much Loctite on there because you'll have a bitch getting them out after. That centre is held in lovely there. Right, okay, so as I mentioned, what I'm going to be doing here is actually adding a bigger motor as well. Now, I've gone with, I actually had a year from the previous build. I'm going to be using a 4282, so obviously we're going more torque, but we're also going to be going up on the kV. So the existing motor that comes with the Traxxas is a, I'm trying to think now, what is it, a 2000 kV, but I'm going to be going with a 2150. So obviously that will give me a little bit more wheel speed as well. So, and then I'll be able to judge where the car is at. Now, moving on to the parts. So let's just move this bag out of the way. We've done that. We've done that. We've done that. So we then got this metal sliding mount to go on the motor. That's the motor we're going to be using there. So I now need to attach this to the car. Again, use Loctite. And then slide that into the vehicle like so. Yep. And then this should be absolutely spot on. Now, the only issue I think I might have here is I don't think it clears the bell crank. Let's have a look. Is that going to clear? No. Okay, so we're going to go stick with the Traxxas motor, guys. But what I'll do with that then is I'm going to gear up the Traxxas motor. But at least, obviously we've got the adjustable gearing, so that's good as well. So yeah, pause the video 2 seconds. I'm going to go find a 15-tooth spur gear, pinion, and then we'll go from there. Okay guys, so I'm going to have to gear up, alright, because obviously I'm planning on using belted tyres. So the idea is here that I'm going to go from a 13-tooth to a 16-tooth, alright. So that will kind of combat the loss of speed with the ballooning of the tyres. Now you're also going to need to fit this support. Now let me just take it back out of the car to show you. What this kit comes with is a support to go underneath your motor. You're going to be using the same holes for the mount. Alright, so this is actually going to sit underneath your motor like so, and then support the motor to stop it. e.g. when you jump or go over a bump, it's not going to slap against the chassis and bend it. But with that, there's a zip tie, all right, that you're going to need to lay underneath, and on top of which you're also got a screw holes there which correspond with, as you can see the spacing between the two. So we're going to place that underneath a second, and obviously along with the zip tie, like so. All right, so there's your zip tie, everything goes underneath. Place some screws in through here, as you can see, like that. All right, and we're just going to tighten them in. Now, so this must be where they're referring to use your existing motor screws, I think. I'm not 110% sure, but this is possibly what they mean. Now, I'm only going to do them loose to start off, because obviously we're then going to place the motor into the car. Okay, so there's the screws, they're in there. It's going to still slide around at the moment. Once we've got it all in place, then I'll tighten those up. Popping the car back over, like so. Excuse the mess. So obviously I've had a long day wrenching today. What we now need to do is obviously get the motor in here, and it's going to sit on top of obviously this sticky part here. Alright, so as you can see, that's now holding it in place. Alright, we now need to we're going to be using the 16 tooth pinion in there. Alright, just to gear it up a little bit more, give it a little bit more wheel speed. Right, okay, one thing to mention here, guys, and I've got to tell you, I did find it a little bit awkward getting this motor plate underneath, actually, onto the vehicle. So what I've had to do is loosen off the front side of this motor mount a little bit, just to kind of slide it in. And the reason being, there's a curvature on the bottom of this chassis here. So once you've got it in there, obviously what you can now do is flip it back over and tighten the screws. But before we do that, what I want to do here is also line the screws up on this actual plate that they've got underneath. Now, I can't say that it's a massive problem. It's just something for you guys to be aware of. So let's turn the car over. There you go. So as you can see here, you're going to need to, there you go, and then line up the screws and then pop them in. So I'm only going to kind of roughly put them in. But the beauty of this end, it's all going to be held in place quite nicely. So I'll just tighten them down just a touch. I'm just going to back this one off a little bit. Really can't see this motor mount moving about. I'm going to tighten up now these screws again here. And then tighten up the one that we've made. Like so. So that's not going anywhere. Just quickly torque that down. Torque that down. So difficulty level, you will kind of need to be a little bit handy with wrenching. I'm not going to lie to you. But if you're willing to work at it, guys, you should be alright, actually, to be honest with you. So I've now got those two screws there. So what I might do, actually, because it seems a bit tight there, I might just loosen them screws off just a touch, because it does seem like it's actually I need a little bit more movement on the pinion and spur gear. So as you can see, they're furthest facing forward. So what I actually need to do is move them to the rear hole here, just to give me that little bit of play, bit of backlash between the gearing. Right, okay. Now we should have a little bit more. There you go. I've got a bit more movement now. Okay, so setting your mesh, quite simple. I have got some nice beefy screws to go in there. So just grab those a second. Again, add Loctite. Maybe two. Maybe two. Ah, okay, they're over here. This table really does need some tidying up, that's for sure. So I'm hoping now, by the time I've done all this, should have a tough truck with a little bit more wheel speed, with less ballooning tyres. All in all, this should be a massive improvement over what was already something I really enjoyed. And the beautiful thing is, with all these upgrades, is they've relatively easy to fit for everyone as well. I mean, you know, let's not pull any punches here. They're not massively hard to fit, are they? Here's that screw. Two nice 3mm screws there. Let's see how far I can actually get them down first. No, I need them a little bit shorter than that. It's one of these. Are these going to be enough? Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Replace this screw there. And this one here. Set my mesh. Tighten it all up. Okay, so way too much slack on the gear in there a second. So what we need to do now, loosen this one off. Nice amount of backlash between the gears. Okay, so I need to Loctite these down now, one at a time. That's one. I hope you're enjoying all the videos at home, guys. All the likes, shares and subscribes and everything else that goes on at the moment. I know I keep saying it. I feel really, really blessed by you guys willing to tune in and follow me through this little journey that I'm having. Honestly, yeah, gears feel awesome there. I am going to be running a motor fan on this as well. So, turn the car upside down now. We should have quite a tough truck here. I'm going to tighten these ones down now. I'm not going to bother Loctiting these because they don't need to. There we go. 2.5mm. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Right, okay. Do I need to run this zip tie? No, I don't. No, I don't. Okay, so that's that. All them screws back in. We've now got perfect mesh there. Now we're gonna reattach all these, like so. connect up a battery. All these should be in there nice and tight. Lovely. And reattach this plate here. And then zip tie these wires in. So I'm going to reuse the cable tie. Awesome. It's looking pretty badass, guys, I'll be honest with you. Fair shout, M2C made a wicked motor out here. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll get a camera up close now, guys, to show you. But yeah, very happy with this. Very, very happy. Gonna pause it 2 secs, tie up all the screws, put the motor mount on, and I can show you from there, guys. Sorry, the fan mount, and we'll go from there. See you in a second. Right, guys, so as you can see, all fitted. Now we're running on a 16 tooth pinion. Backlash is absolutely awesome, so much better. So the motor's now supported, got a fan running. The motor mount system is way better, way better. Between all the upgrades now, I'm really happy with it, the way the truck is looking, and you know, this should perform quite nicely, especially with the new tyres as well. Massive shout out obviously to Avery and the gang. Look at the state of my hands, guys, I've had a full day of engine. Avery and the gang for this motor mount. Now, guys, like I say, skill level, you are going to need a little bit of common sense really when fitting this. Would I recommend it? 110%. You know, it is what it is. I mean, if you want to upgrade your truck, you just be patient and go through the process. It took me a little bit of figuring out, you know, EG screws and how to fit it all in, but that is way better than the stock piece of composite, guys. That's for sure. I mean, loads of people don't like the stock system. Look at the state. Honestly, it's been a busy, but yeah, really like it. And I think now, like I say, I've been able to gear up, so that is a bonus. Obviously, now we're running on a 16 tooth pinion. We are sticking with the stock motor for now. We're going to be running the belted tyre, so I shouldn't lose any speed here either. I might go down to a 1780 at some point. I haven't quite decided, but I'm going to bounce back up top now, guys, and I'll see you in a sec. Right, guys, all done and finished. All the upgrades are actually fitted to the car now. This M2C motor mount, absolutely gorgeous, fit and finish. Really nice. You know, big shout out to Avery and the gang for that. I'm quite happy with the way the truck is looking now. I mean, I haven't added any extra weight to the vehicle or anything like that. I haven't replaced any parts that it doesn't need to be on here. Like I say, in the last video, chassis. So obviously you've got the upgraded chassis now, the upgraded motor mount, the upgraded towers, the upgraded gearing. This should perform quite nicely. Massive shout out to each and every one of you for watching all the videos, all the likes, shares and subscribes. I really do appreciate it, guys. Make sure you check the box for more videos. Till next time, stay awesome. I'm gonna go have a shower, chill out, and then next time you see this out running, it should be fully upgraded. And yeah, awesome. Catch you later.